Hello and welcome to another Infinity N5 battle report for ITS-17. The factions are Military Orders versus PanOceania and the mission is B-Pong. The main change with this list is I swapped the Order Sergeant Heavy Rocket Launcher with the Neurosynetics out for the Black Fry Heavy Rocket Launcher. I placed him in the core fire team with the option of separating and moving out as a 3-person core or if the Crozier multi-sniper rifle dies. The core fire team is at level 3 with the duo fire team at level 2. I really like the fire team changes for N5. This is still a limited insertion list with a Trinitarian and Knight of Santiago remaining off the table and only having a total of 10 orders to begin with in round 1. B-Pong has changed since last time it was in the ITS season. I think this reworked mission is better than its original inception. It has 2 tactical support options, but we chose not to use them for this game. The mission objectives are, at the end of the game, the tracking beacon is totally inside the enemy half of the game table for 2 objective points. At the end of the game round, control the tracking beacon for 1 objective point. At the end of each game round, control at least 1 console for 1 objective point. And each player has 2 classified objectives, 1 point each. The mission encourages more midfield engagement for both players. 16-inch deployment zones allow faster movement towards the console. Controlling the beacon or consoles require a model to do so, removing the advantage of marker states. Using midfield specialists increases the risk of them dying, and having more material in the midfield helps protect them. Now for the game. PanOceania won the lieutenant role and kept deployment. Military Orders kept initiative and chose to go first while deploying first. Military Orders classifieds were HVT inoculation and sabotage. So Military Orders deployment zone, they went first because my opponent chose to keep deployment and his table edge. And the reserve trooper for the Military Orders was the Knight of Holy Sepulchre. And on here from left to right, we have a hollow echo, and there's another hollow echo up behind the sniper tower here of the Holy Sepulchre. The Crozier multi-sniper rifle up top with a Knight Commander, Chain of Command in hollow mask state is just a plain Crozier with Blitzen. The Crozier paramedic down here, Crozier paramedic here, and the Black Fry heavy rocket launcher here, and they're all a core. Shock mine here from the Oxbot, which is located just in this corner wedge here, and the Peacemaker is here. That was my midfield obstruction. A repeater up here with my Trinitarian in hidden deployment halfway up the stairs here. Oh sorry, here's the other hollow echo. So there's a hollow echo, and hollow echo here for the Knight of Holy Sepulchre. I have my war core just here, covering down over this way. The sniper can obviously cover down the whole board essentially, but obviously the towers and stuff blocked him. And we have the Knight of Santiago off the table. We have the Treasure and my HVT over here on the right hiding, and the Knights duo here with the Knight of Justice Hacker and the Knight Hospitaller with Tinbot -3. For PanOceania's deployment, their reserve trooper was a Maximus Tag, and he was located just inside the corner here of this building. There's a Fennec Fusilier Hacker here, a Fennec Fusilier Hacker here, another Fennec Fusilier Hacker here, and there's one more. PanOceania had 5 hackers in total, 4 Fennec Fusilier hackers and 1 blocker. The blocker was here, prone. He has a Kahu duo fire team here, this one with Fuhrerback and this one engineer. Has his TR Thunderbolt reaction bot up here, the Tech B here, the Clipper drone bot prone here, baggage bot here, and another baggage bot here, and a motorized bounty hunter here, and I think that was a Sasha up there maybe. I think so, yeah, I think that was a Sasha. Oh, and then here's the other Fennec Fusilier down here, the hacker down here. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4 hackers, and the blocker here, 5 in total. Round 1. So military orders went first. The Knight of the Holy Sepulchre used the NCO skill to move and shoot the TR bot. So this one was the actual Knight, moved up here, and from the moving into cover here, engaged the TR bot and put it into unconscious. And then used his other NCO skill. Wait, 2 NCO skills. Yeah, sorry. My apologies. The Knight Commander is the +1 Lieutenant Order one, who's actually hiding up here. Sorry, not the chain of command. He's the actual lieutenant for the team. So using 2 Hollow Echoes, he managed to take out, 2 NCO skills, managed to take out the TR bot and re-enter Hollow Echo state up in the corner here. The Peacemaker moved up to here and went prone. And the Oxbot moved around into here and laid a shock mine here, just to better defend the beacon. And we played the objective room here as infinite height for this game as well. So you can't see through it except through the open doorways. And just play them as normal line of fire. The Black Friar with heavy rocket launcher. Hang on, let me just clear the board up a bit, sorry. The Black Friar with heavy rocket launcher moved out to partial cover here. And was hoping to shoot this hacker here, but the hacker used his emitter and put my Black Friar into isolated state. From here, the Knight of Justice duo climbed up the roofs here, and the Knight of Justice fired a pitcher and landed down here. Then after that, the Knight of Santiago came and para-dropped onto this ledge here at the base of the stairs of this white building top. And unfortunately, because this pitcher up here had this hacker and the one behind this wall here inside its repeater zone, they could both attack the Knight of Santiago as he deployed onto the table. So eventually, or lucky for me, they did fail their Oblivion attempts, and then I used the Knight of Santiago to use Trinity against the lead hacker here, and I was just hoping to hoping my opponent will whiff his roll, but unfortunately my Knight of Santiago entered isolated state at the end of that. And then the Knight of Justice hacker then tries to Oblivion the remaining hacker. So the Trinity kills this hacker from the Santiago, and then my Knight of Justice tries to Oblivion the hacker just around the corner here, and fails, and then tries to isolate Maximus and also fails. Oops, wrong button. So that was kind of annoying. And that was the end of my turn. Now it's PanOceania's round 1. So the motorized bounty hunter with the Red Fury moves up from behind this building to here and engages the Crozier multi-sniper rifle and puts the Crozier multi-sniper rifle into dead state. And then a couple of the hackers end up moving forward. I think, just trying to remember which repeaters go down from where. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the remaining hacker, Fennec hacker, moves around here and destroys the repeater I placed down here. And then Maximus, using his tactical awareness order, comes around here and then shoots at my Knight of Justice. And ends up hitting him, but the Knight of Justice passes his saving roll and manages to succeed his religious trooper roll and goes prone. And this hacker up here ends up shooting the Knight of Santiago, the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre, which is down here with his emitter. And the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre shoots back, and they both fail. And let me just tidy this up a bit. Sorry, over here. And then the remaining hacker moves down here and releases a fast panda just to this other side of this white building, which unfortunately puts the Knight of Holy Sepulchre in its repeater range. The blocker up top here stands up, moves, and goes prone to here, and fires a pitcher which lands on the other side of this hollow board here, which has this peacemaker in its zone of control or hacking network. The Tech B ends up trying to repair the TR bot by firing its gizmo kit a couple of times, but fails, so no further orders are spent there. Just tidy up the board a bit. The Kahu ends up moving up here, I think, and then trying to take out the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre. And the Knight dodges, and the Warcore tries to flash pulse, and basically nothing really happens. Oh, sorry, the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre passes his dodge, but the Warcore fails. And then the blocker declares idle, and so there are a few AROs from the military order side. The Knight of the Holy Sepulchre and the Peacemaker declare reset, and the Knight of Justice declares oblivion. The Knight of Justice fails to hit, but passes his saving roll, so he's not isolated, and the other troopers pass their reset. The blocker spends an order and repeats, and then performs the same order again, and unfortunately this time the Knight of Justice is isolated. And the blocker, in another order, splits his burst and tries to carbonite both the Knight of Justice and the Peacemaker, and the blocker succeeds, but the Peacemaker and the Knight of Justice both pass their saving rolls. And the blocker tries another hack again, and this time targets the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre and puts it into immobilized B state. And the Sasha does a bit of moving, dodging and stuff. Not much. That's the end of PanOceania's turn 1. Okay, for round 2. For military orders, they start the turn with the Black Friar isolated, the Knight of Justice Hacker isolated, the Santiago Combat Drop Killer Hacker isolated, the Peacemaker isolated, and the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre in immobilized B state. So not a good start so far. But being an isolated means that although they cannot spend an order on themselves, they can still at least move and shoot and try to affect the game, and this is my plan for round 2. So the Black Friar moves and shoots the Fennec Hacker, and the Fennec Hacker shoots back with his emitter, and they both miss. The Peacemaker tries to reset, but 2 remaining hackers perform Spotlight, and the blocker performs Oblivion, and the Peacemaker remains isolated and is also now targeted. And this scores PanOceania's classified telemetry. The Trinitarian comes out of hiding and moves up to here, and places a deployable repeater here, but is discovered along the way by Maximus, and then eventually moves up to here, which is the PanOceania's treasure marker, and is just turning to cover off down there, essentially. Oh, sorry, ends up taking out this Fennec Hacker here, which was a little win. I was happy with that. And that happened because the Warcore's irregular order was converted to regular, so I had an extra order to do that, and I was happy that I took that Fennec Hacker out. Then the Knight of Justice moves up around to here, and shoots at Maximus from here, causing him 1 wound, and Maximus ducks back around, or guts around to the corner there. Santiago fouls to reset and is still isolated. And a few orders are spent on the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre, including his NCO skills to reset. And obviously because the repeater is here, I have 2 hackers, or 3 hackers remaining. But eventually they all failed and I passed the reset roll on a 2. From here, the Crozier Paramedic does a few moves and moves up into this position here and enters Suppressor Fire state, looking down through there, and up through there. just to set myself up for the next round. And although my opponent's HVT was around here, I could have done HVT inoculation, but I thought I'd rather preserve my forces and set myself up for any counter defense because I was running low on orders at this point. Just tidy up here, sorry. So that was the end of military orders round 2. So for PanOceania's round 2, Maximus comes around the corner and shoots the Knight of Justice hacker, and eventually the Knight of Justice hacker is killed. And this is the Trinitarian fails to dodge. I wanted to dodge the Trinitarian around here. Maximus comes up here and then shoots the Trinitarian and kills the Trinitarian. The Sasha, which is just behind the objective building here, spends about... Sorry, tries to spec fire an EM grenade on the Crozier. And the Crozier just decides to take it. Chooses not to dodge because it will break suppressor fire, and the whole point was for PanOceania to break that suppressor fire. And so eventually the Crozier just is fine because the Sasha misses. The blocker, which has been reloaded with pitches from his baggage bot, splits his burst and fires more pitches. I think one more is fired down here, and I think one is fired somewhere around here. I can't remember exactly. I cannot remember exactly where. The Warcore tries to flash pulse the blocker and manages to succeed, and the blocker is now stunned, but the pitches are both down. And then the Fennec hacker tries to spotlight the Knight of Santiago, which fails, and the Knight of Santiago, it fails and is still isolated but no longer targeted, not targeted, and then tries to target the Peacemaker, and the Peacemaker ends up being in targeted state. And then the Clipper drone bot fires a guided missile and destroys the Peacemaker. The Kahu Feuerback duo move down the stairs here, the Feuerback here and the other one back here, and tries to engage the isolated Black Friar, and the Black Friar shoots back and succeeds at killing the Kahu with Feuerback. Motorized Bounty Hunter moves up to here, tries to shoot the Black Friar, but the Black Friar shoots the Motorized Bounty Hunter dead. The Tech B moves into silhouette contact with the TR bot up to here and valves it or fixes it. And Maximus moves around to here and shoots the Warcore, but the Warcore survives, and he does it again and the Warcore dies. And the Clipper drone bot, which is this one here, stands up and direct fires a missile at the Crozier, and the Crozier fires back a full burst being in suppressor fire, and they both miss. Let me just tidy up that. And then a coordinated order is performed consisting of Maximus, the Clipper bot, the TR bot, and the blocker, and all basically move. The Crozier fires back at the Clipper drone bot and does nothing. The Crozier misses basically. Round 3. For military orders round 3, the Knight of the Holy Sepulchre moves and shoots the TR bot, again putting it into unconscious state, but ends up taking a wound, and he ends up moving from here to here in the process of doing so. The Knight of Santiago moves up to here and tries to flash pulse the blocker, which is here, and ends up being in an immobilized B state for his troubles and is now bricked, so he's both isolated and immobilized B. The Black Friar moves up to here and tries to shoot the remaining Kahu but fails. Up through there. And the Hospitaller Knight moves into contact with the console. And the Knight of Holy Sepulchre comes down here and enters suppressor fire state, looking in through there as well. Okay, for PanOceania round 3, Maximus moves from around here and He has an EM weapon, I cannot remember what it is, but ends up isolating the Knight Hospitaller here, and then he ends up moving into close combat and just killing the Knight Hospitaller. The Sasha again tries to spec fire onto the Crozier paramedic, and it takes 6 orders for the Sasha to finally hit the Crozier paramedic. And because the Crozier is not dodging, he enters isolated state. Then the Sasha moves into the room and then shoots and kills the Crozier dead. The shock mine goes off and kills the Sasha, and then Maximus over here ends up pushing the big console and moving the beacon 2 inches into here, and that is the end of the round. And that is the end of the game. Sorry, that is the end of the game. And now for the after action review. So here are the results for the game. Military Order scored 0 objective points. PanOceania scored 2 objective points for having the beacon totally inside my half of the table, and controlled 1 console for the round, which was round 3, and they completed 1 classified objective, which was telemetry. So the score was 0 OP to 4 OP, with PanOceania winning. So what did I learn for this game? I was testing out the list still and learning how to use military orders. If I was more focused on the mission, I could have made better decisions. For example, I should have used my Trinitarian in the beginning by placing repeaters around and entering silhouette contact with the right console, at least scoring me more objective points over the game. In round 3, I should have moved my Crozier paramedic into the objective room and kicked the beacon 4 inches, hiding it behind some of the cover inside the room. Instead, I was keen to shoot my opponent and deal with his army. While this did prove some of my ideas regarding trooper selection, it did cost me the game. Firing the picture from the Knight of Justice hacker and covering 2 Fennec Fusilier hackers allowed my opponent to ARO with hacking programs to my Knight of Santiago when he combat jumped onto the table. What I should have done is dropped the Knight of Santiago first and then fired the picture. This would have allowed me to Trinity the enemy hackers instead of landing and entering isolated state, making the Santiago almost useless for the rest of the game. Following on from the above, if I had a Crusader instead, I could have landed him in the position that would threaten my opponent. Because the Santiago is a hackable heavy infantry, I was limited in my locations to land him. At the time, I was hoping that I would foul the physical roll and land him in my deployment zone, and then just use his super jump to move him into the position. The Crusader is a medium infantry, which means I can land him in better positions to threaten key enemy troopers without worry from hacking attacks outside line of fire. In previous games, I find the Crusader is a trooper that can solve a problem. For example, I could have dropped him in my opponent's deployment zone to remove the missile bot, or near Maximus where I could have used Berserk to enter close combat and use the EMCC weapon to brick him, or to place a disco ball and block line of fire from the TR bot. I selected the Black Friar for this mission because it is the same support weapon cost and points as the Order Sergeant Neurosynetics. The unique skills for the profile are specifically there to counter common enemy ARO troopers. Enemy profiles that have a support weapon cost, such as a heavy rocket launcher or a multi-sniper rifle on a trooper that has multi-spectral visor and mimetism. The Black Friar's MSV2 counters the enemy mimetism, and the Albedo counters the enemy multi-spectral visor. In this battle report, my opponent had a Kahu Feuerback with mimetism -3 and multi-spectral visor level 1. My Black Friar imposes a -6 mod to my opponent's BS attacks in his reactive turn and active turn. I'm still deciding whether the Thunderbolt with +1 burst is better than the Heavy Rocket Launcher in active and reactive turns. I think the Heavy Rocket Launcher is better in ARO because of the continuous damage, placing more emphasis on my opponent's failed saving rolls, but the Thunderbolt I think will be better in active turn because of the extra burst to hit. I'm still undecided on whether I should choose one or the other. While electromagnetic weaponry is a serious threat to remotes, tanks and heavy infantry, never underestimate emitters and emirats, and EM grenades. Such ammunition is dangerous to light infantry and medium infantry too, because they still cause the affected trooper to enter isolated state. This prevents a trooper from receiving orders from the order pool, meaning one's order pool is now reduced and affected troopers can only use their now irregular order. The Black Friar was isolated, and this limited me in how I could use him during the game more aggressively. So this is the end of the battle report. Let me know your thoughts and comments your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I do have a question for you. In my opponent's active turn, if I have my Knight Hospitaller, which has stealth, standing inside my opponent's repeater zone of control but outside line of fire to any of his troopers, can he still be the target of a hacking attack? It was a bit of a discussion we had after the games, and I was pretty sure that my Knight Hospitaller cannot be a target. Anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, the dice decide the outcome.